Welcome back, folks. BShooter94 here. We are here on the go home show of Monday Nitro, August week 3, right before our Clash of Champions pay per view. First things first, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who showcased out for the last few videos. We've been crushing it. We're beating the last video on views, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Means a lot. I know we're not crushing numbers the way that some others might, but we are building, and I can't be more thankful than that. Having said that, let's get into our Monday Nitro here. We are in the Midwest at the Five Seasons Center with just under 7,000 fans in attendance. And we are opening the show with the Stener brothers, our WCW Tag Team Champions, as they lay down the gauntlet to the Militia for Clash of Champions. That no matter what, they will make sure that the Militia do not walk out of Clash as the WCW Tag Team Champions, and that they have gotten these belts and they are not letting anyone take them from them, and that they are the greatest tag team in professional wrestling history. The storylines have advanced but lost heat in a 62 rating. And naturally, they get interrupted by Militia's Ray Gonzalez and Super Crazy. Now, remember, Guido is on a leave of absence at the moment. He is just not on TV right now just because he's recovering from losing, but the Militia is still staying strong as Crazy and Gonzalez are really trying to get their tag team titles back to get back in the good gracious of the leader, the Guido of the Militia. And tonight, Ray Gonzalez is laying down the challenge for Scott Steiner in a singles bout right now. 68 on that segment, and the storylines both advanced. This could be a really big match. If Ray Gonzalez can show that he can be a single star, we might have something here. But obviously, for now, the Militia is going to stay strong as a team. Okay. Then about that great heat and decent wrestling, Ray Gonzalez defeats Scott Steiner in 950 by pinfall by using the ropes for leverage. Ray Gonzalez sustained minor food poisoning, so that's different. Scott Steiner is 72, Ray of 52. Storylines advanced. The injury took a big toll. I guess food poisoning takes a lot out of you. Okay, and the announcing quite lifted the match. 56 overall in the match. Very disappointing in the segment. But you can't account for injuries, so I guess I can't really be mad about this because, I mean, it's not his actual performance. He got injured, and that's just kind of how it is. Minor food poisoning. I don't really know what to say about that. I'm hoping he'll be good for the Clash, though, because we need them for this match. So, and Scott, thank you for not being a raging douchebag and actually being okay with Ray Gonzalez getting a singles win over you. Thank you. We get a backstage promo from Mike Awesome and America's Most Wanted, saying that tonight we are ready to take on Abyss in the Nightbreed, and that I, Mike Awesome, are going to prove that I am better than the monster Abyss, and that I should be WCW champion. And these guys here, they've already made an impact here in World Championship Wrestling since day one they got here, and they're going to keep climbing up the championship rankings to become WCW Tag Team Champions. So the goal with this promo here is for Mike Awesome to rub some of that star quality off on America's Most Wanted, to really put America's Most Wanted in a really nice spot with the company, like right off the get-go. Because here's the thing, the Dudleys didn't need that. The Dudleys just themselves are stars. Whereas here, these are two new guys who really don't have any star power, and this is the only way that I felt I could really do something with that and make them matter immediately. So hopefully you guys are liking that. Storylines have advanced, and they gained heat. 67 on the segment. In a decent match, the Dudley Boys defeat Doug Basham and Claudio Castagnoli, also known as Cesaro. They are my developmental tag team champions, so I wanted to see where they were at. Just seeing where the tag division's at, building down on the farm. And the Dudleys do get a win here in 7:19 when Devon pins the Doug Basham after the 3D. Bubba wasn't head and shoulders above everybody else. Devon at 64, Bubba at 76, Claudio at 41, Doug at 49. Dudleys have great chemistry, and then Alton quietly lifted the match. So, I'm okay with this. This is kind of where I was expecting, but it's good though that Claudio's already in the 40s. Remember, this is 2002. I'm really not planning to really move Claudio up for a while. I just kind of want to see where he was at. And then Doug Basham eventually will be moving up because he is a good hand for the roster. But I just want to see where these guys were at. Like I said, the Dudleys needed a nice little win and good little feature for the developmental tag team champions with 62 rating. In a TV title qualifying match, in a decent match, Jamie Noble defeats Tommy Dreamer in 6:52 by pinfall. Tommy Dreamer at 48, Jamie Noble at 67. TV title for his advance, announcing quality to the match, 59 segment. Jamie Noble now advances to the Fatal 4-Way at Clash of Champions, where he joins Berlin and obviously the TV champion Mark Jindrak, as we will find out the final participant later tonight when Lance Storm challenges Billy Kidman. We get an in-ring promo from Booker T about RVD and that how after this Sunday Booker T is going to become two-time WCW champion here in the Save and show again why he is the greatest wrestler in the world. And while all last year WCW was all about him, he's going to reclaim his spot here in World Championship Wrestling. 74 on the promo. Rob Van Dam interrupts and announces that Booker T, last week you threw me a curveball and gave me Chavo Guerrero. This week I'm giving you someone from your past. The returning Diamond Dallas Page. 73 overall on the promo, and we have a singles bout coming our way. Good to see DDP back in the fold. If you remember, he was taken out by Ken Shamrock a couple months back during their feud, and Diamond Dallas Page is back in the company and back on shows. And about to have fantastic heat and good and decent wrestling. Booker T defeats DDP in 10:06 with a scissors kick. 77 for Booker. Page with a 50. Page at this point is just a veteran that's there. He's going to help get some guys over and just be kind of a good hand for Nitro. They have good chemistry and it lifted the match. 64 overall on the segment. Good win for Booker as he goes into this match on Sunday at Clash of Champions with RVD. Remember, the winner of that match will be facing Abyss for the WCW Championship at Fall Brawl. So it's a very big deal for that match. And backstage, we get an attack. Obviously, Dustin Rhodes is not at the show yet. Dusty's walking backstage saying hi to some old friends. And Double J and BG James beat down Dusty Rhodes to the point where he is just, you know, we go to commercial and it's showing him getting loaded into an ambulance as Dustin Rhodes shows up to the arena. Not really sure why Dustin wasn't with him, but that's not here nor there. Dusty is no longer in commission when it comes to this feud. And Double J's obviously gotten revenge for that loss last week. Interesting to see where we go from here. In a decent match, Lance Storm defeats Billy Kidman in 9:44 by pinfall as he qualifies for the Fatal 4-Way for the TV Championship this Sunday at Clash of Champions. Lance Storm is 77, Kidman a 49, 64 overall on the match. Good win. Both guys did good here. I would have loved a higher rating, but I'll take it. Lance Storm, obviously, we needed a babyface in that Fatal 4-Way, and he is the perfect guy for that spot. And here's the graphic for the Fatal 4-Way for the TV Championship. Mark Jindrak will defend against Lance Storm, Berlin, and Jamie Noble. A couple different guys here, trying to make the lower mid-card, slash mid-card mean something. Trying my best. So, hopefully that goes well. 69 rating, though. Okay, in a decent match, Jeff Jarrett defeats Christopher Daniels in 8:10 by pinfall with a stroke. Double J is 63, Daniels a 47. They didn't click, so it was a little bit of an awkward match. Announcing Qual lifted the match with a 57 rating. Jeff Jarrett gets a nice win, and Daniels gets featured on Nitro, which is always a blessing. Nothing really noteworthy here, but this is where I wanted to get to this. As Jeff Jarrett celebrates his win, backstage it shows Dustin Rhodes tying up BG James, as BG James is obviously a bloody pulp, and that he says that he is going to severely injure BG James if Jeff Jarrett does not accept his challenge for this Sunday in the match of his choosing. Jeff Jarrett starts freaking out, says he accepts. And Dustin Rhodes says, this Sunday it is Jeff Jarrett versus Dustin Rhodes in a Texas death match. And then slams, uh, like the walk, those like walking boxes that they always have at WWE that's always had a ton of weight on them. He slams that into BG James as Jeff Jarrett starts freaking out, and BG James is obviously yelling in pain as Dustin Rhodes smiles and gets what he wants as we end the segment. Hopefully that kind of came out the way I wanted it to, but ultimately at the end of this, we on purposely got Dusty and BG away from this match, and now we're going to have a Texas death match at Clash of Champions between Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes. 68 on that segment. I wish it was a little higher because I felt like if I would have showcased what it really this was, it would be better, but I'm sorry, I can only do what I can. We get an in-ring promo from Rey Mysterio saying that he is back and that he is going to climb back from the bottom all the way back up to the World Championship. No matter who he's going to go through, he doesn't care. Just because he's the smallest guy in the company doesn't mean that he's not going to climb the mountaintop once again. And he gets interrupted by, ironically, the biggest man in the company, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and says that small wrestlers don't belong in World Championship Wrestling. And then Rey Mysterio challenges Nash and says, well, you and I have a long history, Kev, and last time I checked, it's not always been great for you. And Nash just kind of smiles and says, this Kevin Nash doesn't deal with small wrestlers. So when it comes to a challenge from you, I'm not interested. 73 on the promo as Nash just kind of walks away from Mysterio as Mysterio's kind of perplexed. Nash is really kind of coming to his own with this character, and I think we're going in the right direction here. As we're starting up this feud between Mysterio and Nash. 73 on the segment. In a decent match, Ken Shamrock defeats Elix Skipper in 650 by pinfall. Shamrock a 54, Skipper a 65. Shamrock goes off his game and now to qualify in the match. 60 on the match. Good win for Shamrock going into Clash of Champions, and Skipper gets featured again on Nitro, which again is always a blessing. Trying to do the best I can to make guys matter on Nitro where I can. So good stuff out of both of these guys. Post match, Kaz Hayashi hits the ring as Shamrock bails, and the match is made for Clash of Champions. Kaz Hayashi will face Ken Shamrock in a singles belt. I'm very interested to see how that match is going to come out, because Kaz Hayashi is kind of the, I don't want to say strong style before Shinsuke, but that's kind of like his deal. And then Shamrock is obviously the most dangerous man on the planet, so we'll see kind of where this storyline might go. 68 on that segment of the save there. And in our main event of the evening, in a decent match, Mike Awesome and America's Most Wanted defeat Abyss in the Nightbreed of 1446 when Mike Awesome pins Vampire War with an awesome splash. James Stormer 43, Chris Harris to 42, Mike Awesome at 82, Vampiro is 63, Vampire War is 43, Abyss is 74. Storylines have advanced. Now it's quiet to the match. James Storm and Mike Awesome both have hot new moves, and Mike Awesome stood out as being good with a 64 rating. The 64 is very disappointing, but I kind of expected it with America's Most Wanted being low rated still. But I hope that this features them in a way that they can be now portrayed better, especially with what I got planned in the tag team division going forward. I need to make sure all my ducks are in a row, especially going into the fall and then going towards Starrcade. So Mike Awesome gets the momentum here against Abyss. And remember, they're clashing at Clash of Champions in the non-title match as U.S. Champion faces World Champion. We're looking very forward to that. I think we have one more segment here. Yep. Baby faces stand tall to end the show, just to give Storm and Harris some more popularity growth, so that way they can eventually afford a loss without the game yelling at me. Storylines have advanced, 73 rating. I think this show rating is going to be a little bit lower than I want it to be, and it's a little disappointing. Let's see. Yeah, 66. We lost popularity. We gained in 6 somehow, so that's cool. One thing I do want to mention, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last show, this next Nitro after Clash of Champions will be our first Nitro leaving USA Network and showing up on MTV, which is a massive change in TV deal. MTV in comparison, so USA was medium size in the US. MTV is huge. So I'm expecting some major rating boosts when it comes to TV, as well as just our overall growth in the US, which is going to be awesome. because obviously, as you can see, the way I have my roster, like, you know, I have some guys that are definitely top stars, but when it comes to facing off against WWE, you know, it's a little challenging. So this is definitely a big step. Plus, we got the Dish Network now for our pay-per-views, so we have a bigger network now for that, and we've gained a bigger one in Japan, which is going to also be a big deal. So couple things coming there. We got Clash of Champions coming next Sunday, which I'm very excited about. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the save. From what I'm seeing on the views, it certainly seems like you guys are. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the liking of the videos. We'll see you guys next week for another WCW Monday Nitro.